Today I'm going to test downwind foils. So what's the easiest foil to paddle up on, and then what is the best glide? So it's not about what gets up easiest, it's what gets up easiest and then glides the best. So my theory is the 1310, which is over here all set up ready to go, is the biggest. The next biggest is the 1150. We're going to go down in size to the 1300, all PNG. Then we shift to the HPS series, HPS1050. I've skipped a couple and gone to the HPS1080, and then I've gone to the ART1099. So that's what I'm going to test today. We've just got to change fuses, both on the short advanced. Managed to get my hands on a black short advanced. And then I'm going to use the 325 tail as well. It's just what was in the back of my car. Ideally, you'd probably use a bigger tail to paddle up if you were trying to get up smaller foils, but that's just what I'm using today. Hope that helps, and let's get into it. Alright, so I'm just testing the PNG1310. It's the biggest, should be the easiest to get up. Let's see. I think I got up in like sort of 5 or 6 strokes. 5 or 6 strokes, and that felt good. It's big though. You lose that top end, so use that smaller foil. See how we go. Switch down to the 1150. Look, it's just the little brother of the PNG1310. I feel like it'll be a little bit harder to get up, and it'll probably be not as nice to pump. The advantage of it being shorter span is it turns a bit better. So if you're looking for a downwind wing that gets up easy, still turns well, the 1150 is good, but it is still quite slow. See how we go. Yeah, definitely wanted a few more paddle strokes for a bit more speed. So, it still worked. Once up and going, it went faster. But if you want something that's easy to paddle up, go to 1310. Make your way down to 1150 because it's quicker. Problem with these two wings in downwind, they're pretty slow. So I'm going to choose the PNG1300 next. Alright, trying the PNG1300. I've used this before and I know how it paddles up pretty well. I love this foil because it paddles up easy but then goes pretty fast. So the disadvantage of it is it doesn't turn very well and it doesn't go that fast because it paddles up so easy. But compared to the other two PNG, 1150 and 1310, this is actually smaller than both of them, goes faster, paddles up a little bit harder, but I really like this for people learning to downwind because it gets them going. They can hang with the swells longer than they could in the bigger foils, and the only disadvantage is it doesn't turn that great. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Flat water. Yeah, look. I love this fall for flat water. Gets up easy, glides well. You can see how long I glided once I got up to speed and height. Just gliding along. Not much effort, not much work. Which is exactly why it's good for downwind as well. Get up to speed, get it gliding. Gives you heaps of time to make the right decision when downwind foiling. The other ones, because it doesn't glide as well, doesn't go as fast, you've got to continuously pump. Continuously pumping makes it harder to make the right decision because you're tired. PNG1310 for beginners, I really love this one. Alright, so I've changed from the red fuse onto the black fuse with the HPS1050. Look, I think there might be a foil in between those sizes. I think the PNG1310 will be a good one to try if you can't pedal this one up. It basically goes 1310, 1150, 1300, 1010. Then there might be a few BSCs in there too, but the BSCs don't glide as well. Now the HPS1050 is the next one I'm going to try. So let's see how we go. HPS1050, black fuse, same 325 tail. Let's see how we go. As you can see, there's a fair bit of a gap from the 1300 to the 1050. So I think probably put the PNG 1010, even the 910 and that in that same gap. The advantage of this one, especially in the bumps, goes fast and it turns better. So, you know, while there is a bit of a gap, you probably would have also noticed that I glided a bit more on the PNG 1300 than I did this. Because there's no other power than flat water in my paddle. Once I'm up, I'm pumping, and I never actually get it to the speed that it wants to glide. It does glide, not quite as well as the 1300, but I'd need to go faster to get anywhere close to the glide of the 1300. Alright, so now I'm testing the HPS1050. I've actually never used this before, but my theory is I'm skipping out the 980 and the 920 or 930, I can't remember, 930 I think it is, of the HPS. I'm jumping down to the 880 and I want to compare that to the 1099. Basically this is going to be much harder than any of the other ones, but a little birdie told me that the HPS 880 is actually a different fall section to the 1050 and all the other HPSs. So it's got a bit of a liftier section, which is going to make it easier to paddle up and easier to downwind. So I'm going to try this out, HPS 880. First time paddling it up, so if I fail you'll know why. Let's get into it. Yeah, so HPS 880 was a fair bit harder. You can see once I was up, I'd keep paddling. So a fair bit smaller, but still possible. Be a good test to the 1099. One more to go. Alright, last one I'm testing the 1099. My theory is if you can paddle up the 1099, you can probably paddle up the 999 and the smaller ones as well. So 1099 is the one I'm finishing on today. I hope it's a bit easier than the 880 because I made the 880 seem pretty hard. To make things a bit easier, you can also use a bigger tail. So I'm using a 325 tail fine for downwind, but in flat water, I'd probably want a bigger tail with a bit more, it lowers the stall speed. The other thing you can change is moving the base plate further forward. Don't move too far forward, you'll need a sort of little balance up. I'll sort of show you. So if you grab the foil just by here and then lift it up, see how the board is, the wind's blowing it, but the board is more or less flat. What you don't want is when you pick it up for it to look like this or like this. You want the board to be as flat as possible when you lift it up. That's the balance up test, really crude version way of explaining it. That's the balance up, and it's not the be all and end all, but it's a good guide. Yeah, 1099, last one, let's go. So that's the 1099. Great foil. Good glide. I think it paddles up similar to the 880 actually. But yeah. Kinda like the PNG1310 glide, just faster. So the other thing I didn't mention is the board I'm using, 610 by 18. It's the new prone / elite sup downwind aviator. It's, if I wanted to get up easier, I'd actually have a higher volume version. So this is a 610, it's going to be a 7.2, a 7.6 and an 8.0. I've actually got one of each coming, and I think it's going to make it easier to paddle up. So if you're having trouble paddling up in flat or downwind, look at getting a longer, skinnier, higher volume board, and it'll make it way easier for you. But yeah, we'll just spin the camera around and just thank little Kobe and Mum for filming. Thanks team! Yeah, thanks guys.